Good morning, JSerra. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Tyler.
And welcome back to another episode of The Lion Report. Before we get on with today's show, let's head on over to the announcements.
Good morning, Lions. Here are your daily announcements.
Sizing for the Swimming and Diving Spirit Pack is tomorrow after school from 3 to 4 p.m. on the pool deck. All students interested in joining the swimming and diving program need to attend. If you are unable to size tomorrow, please touch base with Coach Kevin in an email.
Come support your soccer boys tomorrow against Servite for their Lion game. The game starts at 5:30 and be sure to wear all white. It's also dinner and a game under the stars night with German food and a bratwurst dinner for $7. Then, following the game, head over to the gym to cheer on our basketball boys, also playing Servite at 7 p.m. This game is also a whiteout.
Hey seniors, voting for the senior superlatives is due by tomorrow. Be sure to check your emails so you can vote.
Also, seniors, this is your last chance to purchase your senior sweatshirts. Check your emails or see Mrs. O'Berry about picking up yours today.
All new freshmen and sophomores interested in joining the boys volleyball team are welcome to come to tryouts on January 21st and 28th from 8 to 10 a.m. at the JSerra Pavilion. Everyone is welcomed.
Reminder, CSF applications for semester membership is due Friday, January 20th at noon to Mrs. Lee in room 3104. Applications can be found at jserra.org/CSF.
That's it for today's announcements. Back to our host. Thanks for those announcements, guys.
Hey Jenna, do you know that Martin Luther King Day is coming up on the 16th?
Yes, coming this Monday, we will celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day, commemorating the birthday of Martin Luther King, who was an activist and a Baptist minister who was one of the most visible leaders of the civil rights movement in the 50s and the 60s. In his activism, he preached nonviolence and civil disobedience based on Christian beliefs and led the activism predominantly in the South. He was most integral in influencing the passing of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 that outlaws discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. It also prohibits unequal application of voter registration requirements, racial segregation in schools and in employment, as well as public accommodations. On October 14, 1964, King won the Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial inequality through nonviolent resistance. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on April 4, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee. His death was followed by national mourning, as well as anger leading to riots in many U.S. cities. We honor the passing of this great civil rights leader this holiday weekend.
Most of you know Mr. King, our guitar teacher here at JSerra. Here's a spotlight on Mr. King and a glimpse of what he's all about, produced by Luca.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's see it.
Hi everybody, I'm Mr. King. I teach guitar, I teach rock band, and I teach the jazz band here at JSerra. The way I knew that music was for me, and the introduction to music for me, was in fact that I used to have cable TV and then they would show Woodstock at different times. So I wrote down every time it was on TV and I would get up and watch it. So if it was 4 in the morning, I'd wake up and watch it because Jimmy was playing. So the idea was I just watched his hands and then I was doomed. I thought, okay, this is for me. So at Christmas they said, what would you like? Would you like a bicycle? I said, no, I'd like a guitar and the green Jimi Hendrix record. As far as my influences and where I come from I'm hugely based in blues and soul, Memphis soul as a matter of fact. And the guys who inspired me, I was so lucky my parents had good records, so I had Muddy Waters, I had Jimmy, I had the old Fleetwood Mac with Peter Green. I had all the Bob Dylan records, and luckily I was exposed to jazz in an early time, and I didn't understand it at first, and I still don't necessarily understand it all the way. But to me, jazz is really where it's at as far as my musicality right now. All right, so the thing I love the best about teaching are a couple of things. First of all, when I teach, I get better, and so that's a collateral benefit that most people don't recognize most of the time. And then the best thing for me is I feel like I'm kind of a keeper of the flame. So I come from sort of old styles and things like that. But like I have a couple of students and when they get it, I don't know a word that can say the right word to make it convey to people how I feel. It's like I'm passing the baton to young men and women, and it's just a remarkable feeling. I can't put it any other way, except it's just unbelievable to pass the baton to young people and continue this tradition that I'm part of. If you were to happen to end up in my class and take lessons from me, the first day you would, well, maybe the second day, maybe even the third day, you would end up playing Bob Marley's Stir It Up, of course, because it takes one finger. This is your first finger. And you go like this. Yep. So second fret on the first finger, pull up to fifth, up to the seventh, and then you say, stir it up, little darling, stir it up, like that. And that's how it works. Stir it up.
Thanks for showcasing yet another Mr. King, Luca.
Fortunately, that's all we have for you today, JSerra. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Jenna, and happy birthday to Ava Sarantellos. Have a great Thursday, Lions.